Next method will be called close, to close the connection, public function close. And we execute this function by simply checking if it's been executed. So if hasn't been executed, MySQL close, if it hasn't been executed successfully, and we pass in the connection string, which is our this con db. If it hasn't been executed, and by checking, obviously, we are already executing it. So if it hasn't been, then die displaying the error message, closing connection failed. And that's everything in this specific method, within this specific method. Now we're going to create the function to escape all illegal characters, to prepare our SQL statement for, all of the values and parameters for interacting with the database. Now this function will be called public function escape. And we will pass the value which we want to filter. First of all, we're going to check if function exists, and the name of the function is, in between the double quotes, MySQL real escape string. This is for all applications which are run on a server which has version of PHP higher than version 4.3. 4.3 or higher, basically. So if this function exists, then what we do, we have to undo any magic quotes so that MySQL real escape string function can basically take care of the value. So if get magic quotes gpc function exists, then value strip slashes from the value, and right after this our value will go through our MySQL real escape string function, and we pass the value to this function. Now, if function exists, now what if we run the application on the server which runs PHP lower than 4.3.0? Then we need to obviously create the else condition, and this time we check if magic quotes haven't already added the strip slashes. So if get magic quotes gpc, and we have to actually check if it hasn't. If this function doesn't basically exist, if it hasn't been executed. Value, then value, we're going to add slashes to our value. And right at the end, we will simply return our value, which we pass as a parameter. And now it's obviously filtered through all these functions, and the value is ready for interacting with the database. So that's our two functions, methods, execute, close, and escape. Now, in the next video, we'll have a look at another one, called query, and then display query to display the last error if together with the last query string if there were any problems basically with executing any of the SQL statements.